Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rush Limbaugh.
Christmas show from last year. I'll tell you why. I got an invitation in the mail today. Mr. and Mrs. Henry Adams and Dr. and Mrs. Michael Garabedian request the honor of your presence at the marriage of their children, Cindy and Michael. All they want is a gift. I know they know I can't make it. On Saturday, the 13th of November, 1993, 7 o'clock in the evening, St. Albans Episcopal Church, 911 South Davis Drive, Arlington, Texas. Now, I got this in the mail. I said, why am I getting an invitation? Who do these people think they know me or that I know them? And then Kathleen Gleason said, Rush, you remember them? He proposed to her on your show. I said, well, let's show the video. Here's exactly how it happened on our Christmas show, 1992. Look at her, not me.
Cindy, the last 4 years have been a lot of fun. It's been the best time of my life. And the only thing I can think of to give you for Christmas, which would be comparable, would be my last name. Will you marry me, please?
Oh, no, you said yes?
Okay, too late.
No, that's great. That's great. But can we do it again? Okay. Can I show you how to do it? Can I show you how to do it? We don't have much time. I know you're nervous. National TV, you're not a big star like I am, so it was a very intimidating thing. But here's how you do it. Cindy, don't believe any of this. I'm just pretending. This is Cindy. The last 4 years of my life have meant more to me than any of the previous 22. And I know that I don't have maybe everything I'm going to have, but I do have my heart. And my heart is totally, totally devoted to you. And it would be the absolute wish of the heavens if you would say yes to my offer and request, heartfelt as it is, for marriage. Will you marry me?
Yes.
Now see that. Thanks. Let's go. Let's go. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give her a kiss. Give her a kiss. And so they're going to get married, folks, and we've got the invitation, and we couldn't be happier. I mean, we're family values starting right here on our Christmas Day show. Now, I know that they are probably regular viewers of this program, and their love for one another has probably been promoted and enhanced by their steady viewership of this show. So I know they're out there. Michael, I have a little warning for you. I've been there, pal. I have been married, and I know you feel blissful. I know you feel happy. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it, but I ran across something today that I just think you ought to know about. New York Times living section. Take a look at this. Diet sabotage. The new battle of the sexes. Do you know what this story? Because I guarantee you, your wife, she looks fine, but in her mind, she's fat. It's true of all women. They all think they need to be on a diet all the time. And when it doesn't work, it's your fault, Michael. It's their husband's fault every time. And this article establishes it. This article proves it. You know how it's your fault? She'll lose weight, and she'll be looking real good, and you'll say, hey, honey, let's go to dinner, and you'll take her to the finest restaurant in town, and she'll pig out, and she'll gorge on this stuff, she'll come back and gain weight and blame you for taking her out. Or you will come home, and you'll sit down and watch football, you have some potato chips and some dip, some ice cream, you're sitting there pigging out yourself, and you're going to be making it tough on her. It's your fault that she will not stay away from the stuff that she knows is going to make her fat. So you're in for it. I mean, it's true of all men, not just you. In this article, when women read this, see, women already know this, but some of them aren't going to have the courage to say it. They read this, and they're going to have the courage to say it. In fact, in this story, men are responsible for everything going wrong. Everything that goes wrong with women, it's men. The only people escaping blame for all the travails women go through in this story is Reagan and Bush and the 1980s. Now, you think I'm lying. On the same day, there was this story all over America. Obesity takes hefty toll, according to the doctors. The New England Journal of Medicine came out with a story saying that being overweight can be costly, and it shows that overweight young adults risk being poor and single as they get older. And guess who being overweight impacts the most? Women. Women who are overweight have a much tougher time in society, have a much tougher time getting married and all this stuff. So I just thought that I would prepare you, Michael, for what is definitely ahead. I'm just trying to perform a public service here. I'm not trying to talk about of marriage. I'm not trying to talk about it being in love with her. It's just now the New York Times has said it. It's biblical. There have been some funny things happen in the news that we haven't had a chance to talk about because we've been so focused this week on health care. Let me show you something very, very funny. Les Aspin on TV describing new rations that the U.S. military is going to pass out to starving, hungry people all over the world, such as in Somalia. Watch this.
The packages look very much the same. This is the humanitarian package, and this is the MRE. The humanitarian's a little bigger. It's the whole day's ration. This is the MRE. It's only one meal's ration. But basically, the contents are very different.
And also they're culturally sensitive, I gather. In other words, there's no meat and no pork.
The HDR is designed especially to cover a whole wide range of different ethnics and different religious backgrounds. It has no meat products, and it is essentially designed to have the necessary health components without offending particular religious and ethnic sensitivity.
Did you hear all that? We're going out and giving away food. People are starving. They've got flies buzzing all around them. Here's your culturally sensitive food pack. We're going to give away food. We're going to respect religious differences. We're going to respect ethnic differences. These people are starving. Les, why don't you just have the soldiers give them their Snickers bar and be done with it? I mean, you know what else bothers me about this? I must tell you, this really bothers me. I am getting a little weary of all of you people who don't like something dictating that everybody else can't, therefore have it. Just because somebody doesn't like meat, the hell if I'm not going to eat it. And so if somebody in some foreign country starving to death says, I don't like meat, I'm not going to have meat, I'm going to die instead of having meat, and nobody else can have meat? How have we ended up this way, that the people who don't want something dictate who gets anything? Let me show you something. See this? This is a fine alligator. You animal rights people, I hope you love this. This used to be a slimy, greasy reptile known as an alligator, and you know what it now houses? Fine tobacco. Inside here, my friends, inside here is some of the finest tobacco one can smoke and smell. But you know, you go into a restaurant and pull this thing out, and people, before you even light it, and they start calling you names and telling you that it stinks and that you stink and that you'd better not light it up if they're there. And I am sick and tired of you people who think life is to be made miserable. You people who think life is made up of no fun whatsoever, wanting to make sure nobody else has any fun either. It's the same thing. Just because you don't like cigars, I can't smoke them around you. I think this is getting a little out of hand. All those who want to deny themselves want to deny the same things to everybody else. It's like we're going to be equal by spreading misery to everybody. And I think here we got to give away food and make sure it's got to be environmentally, religiously, and ethnically sensitive. And people are we have lost our trail, my friends. We've lost our sense of priorities. There's more. There's a lot more. We'll be back with the rest of the show right after this.
These are first graders reading on a 5th grade level. We could have never done this without Hooked on Phonics.
Kipling decided to wait until late the next night when there would be fewer trains. There once was a yellow...
6 were easily reading 5th grade level by the end of the 9-month school year. Even the very slowest child in the class graduated reading 3rd grade. Hooked on phonics. It works.
Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
Mustang Sally. Oh yeah. Yes, you better slow your Mustang.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Peanuts. Hey, aren't you on the diet? Oh, man, that starts this weekend. And I'm going to be a new man this weekend.
You said that last time.
Hey, bartender, one more time.
It's a true story. It happened.
Sure. Hey, excuse me. Do we have another round here? Hey, we just got started.
The night's still young.
That's right. Hit me again.
Yeah.
Call Charter Hospital of Kingwood today.
Tuesday.
Please try and pay attention.
Rock's flunking out of birthing class.
You fathers will learn how to cut the umbilical cord.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
Right.
On an all-new Rock. Then, will an evil spell turn Boyer into a zombie love slave?
Nice truck. 64?
Bakersfield PD, an all-new episode. And for 7 years, he hid in the jungles of Puerto Rico. But your viewer tips brought him back to justice.
Tuesday, beginning at 7 on Fox 26.
You know, welcome back. You're watching Rush Limbaugh, the TV show. When I whip out this cigar, I just bet you that there are people at home getting up and turning off the TV because they think it stinks. These bunch of prejudiced boobs out there that just want to force misery on everybody. Okay. I got a great letter in the mail. I want to show it to you. Dear Mr. Limbaugh, I'd like to announce the opening of a new Rush room, although it's a new kind of Rush room. It's the Limbaugh Locker Room. All the following people who've signed their name to this letter are football players for the University of Southern California. And they are avid ditto heads. The Limbaugh Locker Room is open to any Trojan football player and is really more of a small fraternity than an actual meeting place. We came up with the idea as we started 2-a-day practices this year as a way for us to preserve our conservative ideology in the state that elected Senators Barbara Bombshell Boxer and Dianne Not-So-Feinstein. As far as we know, we're the first NCAA Division 1A football team to establish a Limbaugh Locker Room. Knowing about your love for sports through your affiliation with the Kansas City Royals and the Phoenix Suns, we thought you might like to hear about our unique fraternity, Phi Beta Ditto. We will all be listening to you as we make our bid to return to the Rose Bowl Mega Dittos from the USC Trojan Limbaugh Locker Room. We are spreading the word even to the institution. And let me show you. The signature here is Troy Ganau, G-N-A-U. He's number 60, a junior, a long slapper, and a snapper. He's probably engaged, too, you know. He's a long snapper. For those of you who don't know football, it means he snaps or hikes the ball on punts and field. He's a long snapper. The quarterback does not have his hands up, you know, because he's a long snapper. He's a... Well, you got to take into account that some people don't know what a long snapper is. I want everybody to be able to understand what this guy does. He's a broadcast journalism major. Look at all the signatures here. And half the team here signed this phrase. I mean, this is right. We've got a locker room, a rush room at the Green Bay Packers as well. So we're making inroads. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, Commerce Secretary Ron Brown and I didn't do it. You can't prove I did it. I didn't do it. Right after this.
So the idea hits me. Chicken sounds good. I head for Long John. Something tells me I should. For $1.99, I hear a voice say, chicken at Long John's will blow you away. Hey, what am I thinking? Am I in outer space? Can the world's best chicken be at a fish place? And the voice said, chicken at Long John's is just a thing. So many choices, those taste buds will sing. For your buck. So I stopped at the sign, couldn't believe my eyes. Got the $1.99 fish, chicken, and fries. So if you're thinking chicken, you gotta go fish. At Long John's Silver's, you're gonna get your wish.
Rembrandt toothpaste? No way! I use Plus White toothpaste to get rid of stains.
Plus White and Rembrandt are both low abrasive, but Plus White removes stains twice as fast as Rembrandt.
Want white teeth fast?
Get Plus White toothpaste.
All-natural Butter Bud Sprinkles and Mix from the makers of Sweet and Low. It has the flavor of butter because it's made with butter. But every serving has no fat, no cholesterol, and low sodium. So you can enjoy all these dishes and find a new use for this one.
Houston football is about to take off big. It's $5 at Fever Pitch. University of Houston football, just $5 a ticket this Saturday. Get your action live for $5 and see more flash, burn, and bang for your buck. It's $5 for 4 quarters of the hottest action in town. Cougar football is celebrating a new beginning, a new year, a new coach, Kim Helton. Cougar football's live for $5. Get your $5 tickets now to see the University of Houston battle Baylor this Saturday.
Thursday, why are the Simpsons leaving Springfield?
Someone's trying to kill me! Oh, wait, it's for Bart.
Find out on an all-new Simpsons. Then, now that Sinbad's a dad, will his best friend get all the babes?
You couldn't take a woman from me if I dipped in super glue and threw her at you.
An all-new Sinbad show. And first in Living Color spoof The King of Pop. Now it's Janet's turn in Unpoetic Justice.
Damn, oh, Jesus, hey.
An all-new episode followed by an all-new Herman's Head.
Thursday beginning at 7 on Fox 26.
Another absolutely superb-looking audience representative of the best of America. Thank you all for being here tonight. All right. Well, we've got our first potential scandal in the Clinton administration. And by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, there are many more to come. Many more. I feel it in my bones. There are many more of them. This is the first one, Ron Brown. Now, Ron Brown used to run the Democratic National Committee, big friend of General Dinkins in New York City. He was the floor manager for the Reverend Jackson's campaign 88 Atlanta, the Rob Lowe convention. And Ron Brown was made Commerce Secretary by President Clinton. There was a charge that came up not long ago that said he had accepted a $700,000 bribe from the government of Vietnam in order to facilitate lifting the trade embargo we have against Vietnam. Brown said, I didn't do it. I never know what they're talking about. I had no idea. It's a totally manufactured. It isn't true. Then the other day, some little Vietnamese guy trotted out and said, oh, yeah, I had a meeting with him. Brown said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I didn't do anything. I don't know what he's talking about. We have a series of video. Now, here's President Clinton defending his Commerce Secretary.
He's told me that he hadn't done anything wrong, and he's done just about everything right as Commerce Secretary. I think he's done a great job, and I have no reason not to believe him.
There's two guys, strangers to the truth, telling them they didn't do it. Tough to figure out which one may be on the right side of the truth in that one. Now, here's Ron Brown himself defending himself, saying he'll be cleared up.
The inquiry is underway. I'm sure that it will be completed in fairly short order. When it is, I am confident that I will be totally exonerated of these ridiculous and absurd charges.
It's what Nixon said. Now, Robert Walker is a Republican congressman from Pennsylvania. On the floor of the House of Representatives, he asked some very, very timely questions. Watch this.
What strikes me as strange, Mr. Speaker, is when we had the chief of staff in the previous administration have a problem with driving a White House car to New York for some personal business, that could in fact be investigated almost immediately in the House of Representatives. Now we have a matter that goes to the heart of the governance of our society, and it doesn't sound to me as though there's any means by which we can get it investigated, and I'm seeking to know whether or not there's a resolution of some sort that can be brought to the floor that would force this investigation to take place.
He's exactly right. But there's even more than that. You remember Richard Allen? Richard Allen was a national security advisor for Ronald Reagan, first term, accused of accepting a gratuity of a $1,200 watch from the Japanese to arrange a meeting. He was hounded out of office, and he never even accepted the watch. Remember Ray Donovan? They'd brought him to trial. He was not guilty. He said, where do I get my reputation back? Remember Ed Meese? Didn't do anything either, but boy, they had a special prosecutor. This is serious stuff. This is bribes involving a foreign government. We have the appearance of impropriety. You remember this baseless charge that the Democrats kept trumping up last year and 2 years ago, that Bush somehow met with the Iranians to secure the fact that those hostages would be held until after the election, thereby making it easier for Reagan to win. And Tom Foley, the Speaker of the House, said, we have no evidence whatsoever to substantiate this charge. That's why we must investigate. Charges are so serious, we must investigate to make sure that there's nothing to them. Well, we've got more than charges here. It's time for a special prosecutor, and it's time for a little quid pro quo. It's time to get on with this, and I just thought that I'd get my 2 cents in. When we come back, Murphy Brown's turning conservative. We'll show you. Watch this.
Now, more than ever, the axiom holds true. There are 2 sides to every story. I'm Joe Roth, publisher of the Conservative Chronicle. With Bill Clinton and the liberals tightening their stranglehold on Washington, it's vital that the views of the real majority get equal exposure. Every week, the Conservative Chronicle fills 32 pages with thought-provoking commentary from the nation's premier conservative columnists and cartoonists. The Conservative Chronicle is a godsend for those who are tired of the liberal slant of the news today. Respected columnists like William F. Buckley, Mona Charen, Pat Buchanan, William Rusher, Joseph Sobran, and others pack more conservative views into one issue than most daily newspapers print in a month. Also, the cartoons are very fun. Subscribe today for $39 a year. That's 52 intelligent, informative issues of the Conservative Chronicle for only $39. Call today and ask for the Conservative Chronicle.
Call 800-247-8080 with your credit card and order the Conservative Chronicle today.
Sunday on Martin, Gina goes to work for Shanae.
I have done hair before.
Picking Pam's buckshots don't count.
But when she tries to get ahead,
You gave Myra a perm.
things could get ugly.
Is it that nice?
Martin. An all-new episode. Then, Max defends her best friend in court.
What's this? My bill.
Living single.
Sunday beginning at 7 on Fox 26.
We asked Eldon Hayes to show us his huge selection of new turbo diesel trucks at Hayes Franklin Ford in Crosby. As you can see, Hayes Franklin Ford has one of the largest turbo diesel selections in the entire Southwest. Every color, style, and equipment package. And with Hayes Franklin's low price guarantee, you'll save hundreds, even thousands on your new turbo diesel. Right, Eldon?
Come see our huge selection of turbo diesel trucks. Hayes Franklin Ford in Crosby, where deals are smoking.
In a court of law, Ellie Nessler shot and killed the man charged with molesting her son. Her defense of insanity has been denied. Now, as she faces years behind bars, she speaks in a worldwide exclusive interview. Plus, Tammy Faye Baker stood by her husband Jimmy as scandal rocked the PTL church. Now she's marrying a new love. Be there for our exclusive coverage as Tammy ties the knot on the next Current Affair.
Watch A Current Affair, Monday at 6:30 on Fox 26.
I do not watch series TV. Last series I ever watched every time it was on was Dallas. I loved it. But I haven't seen, I don't watch anything since. So I get home late Monday night. I fire up CompuServe, there's a bunch of letters. Rush, you were mentioned on Murphy Brown. And it was positive. They were sitting there endorsing conservatism. Well, see, I don't have to watch series TV. As a powerful, influential member of the media, I simply called Dick Mincer, senior producer of this show. I said, Dick, get me the show. And like that, I have it. The next day, I can watch it. So I looked at it, the parts that involve me, which didn't take too long. And this really is something. This is a show which criticized Quayle and all that. Well, watch this. Here's the reference to me from the bartender of the show. You'll know it.
Quite a show tonight. Rush Limbaugh was laughing so hard he almost fell off his bar stool.
Now, I tell you that the setup for this is that apparently Martin Sheen was a guest on this show, former 60s radical, and as he had grown older, he'd become a conservative, and Murphy Brown was stunned. She had no idea that he had changed, and they're now at the bar after the show discussing this conversion on the part of this guy, and some of the cast members are sitting around discussing their own movement toward conservatism. Here's another example of that from the show.
I just don't get it. Okay, I understand that living alone in the mountains for all those years, someone could go a little wacko. But this is Nick Brody. What happened to him?
Same thing that happens to everybody. He got older. People get more conservative when they get older.
Imagine this in prime time on Murphy Brown. Did you notice there was no laughter there? There was no cutting response? And then there's this, which really says it.
Sometimes I think people on welfare should try harder to get a job.
Frank, I can't believe you said that.
Well, look, not everybody, just a lot of them.
Who would have ever thought that? Who would have ever thought it? My friends, this is an example, I think, of why you ought to stay confident. Now, Murphy Brown's what I consider part of the dominant media culture. The media culture is not just news, but it's books and movies and television shows. And for the longest time, these shows have really taken shots at conservatives and traditional value beliefs. People who hold those beliefs make fun of them, impugn them, and so forth. And look at this. I mean, I think this is a stride, a major, major stride. Am I going to take credit for it? You bet. But, you've got to be given credit. This is, just stay confident. I know some days it looks like the whole world's ending and what we believe in is descending on us and about to be lost, but there are more of us who think that way than you would believe, and it's a good thing to see shows like this indicating it. Hope you have a great night. We'll see you on our next show. Be with us then.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Quit chewing tobacco with mint snuff, all mint chew. Mint snuff is made from mint, not tobacco. Ask for mint snuff at grocery and convenience stores.
Pick a card, but not just any card. Buy a fresh deck of bicycle playing cards today. Bicycle, because your reputation is on the table.
You want regular Swiss cheese with all that fat, cholesterol, sodium, and calories? No. I'm giving you Alpine Lace Swiss Low because I care how you and you eat.